Big horsepower is the name of the game on the Motor Mile. With Joe Sylvester and Buddy Tompkins leading the pack, the Crazy Eight gets set to eye the sky for a little low-level flying from the cockpit of these larger-than-life war machines. Nestled along the banks of the New River in the central Blue Ridge Mountains, the city of Radford, Virginia is home to the Motor Mile Speedway, once again welcoming 8 of the biggest machines in motorsports. The Monster Truck Racing League is here, and as you can see, this place packed with monster truck racing fans. As I said, 8 machines getting ready to take to this track for best trick racing and freestyle, and there is never a shortage of thrills at this event, one of the biggest that the Old Dominion sees during the summer 4th of July weekend usually, so it always comes with some fireworks and some massive obstacles. And if yesterday's action was any indication as to what we are going to see, we are in for quite a show here tonight. This is a little bit earlier as the pit party was wrapping up. These fans eager to get back up close and personal with their favorite monster trucks and their drivers. But it is showtime right now. We have highlights of early competition action, including best trick and qualifying, coming your way in just a moment. The monster trucks take to the track here at the Motor Mile Speedway when we return.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. And by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go.
A full field of 8 trucks started the weekend out here in Radford, Virginia. We're going to take you through best trick and then qualifying highlights. First up on the track, out of Holden, New York, Bill Solly driving Paul Brode's Instigator out of Delta, Pennsylvania. And Solly, once again, first up, gives us a good indication as to how hard this track could be on these trucks. There's no small obstacles out here. And here's a guy that will definitely show you that Daniel Ames in that new culture shock, new to him. That chassis has quite a history on it, but he's looking good. However, he may have put himself out of competition with that right there, a hard landing on the front end. The truck did not sound right after that move. We'll get another look at it here from the reverse angle. Watch the slow-mo, how hard he comes down on that front end. It doesn't look like he really damaged the front housing, but there's a chance that the motor shifted in the chassis. They are having trouble getting that truck fired. They did not make qualifying, and they may not make it back for racing. In the meantime, though, Ty Cornelius wearing the colors for the first responders in the United States at the wheel of BACKDRAFT. Big Patrick chassis machine, part of the Paul Brode team out of Delta, Pennsylvania. Ty always does a nice job, and here's one that we're going to be talking about for quite some time. Aaron Basil had a great showing last night at the wheel of the Devastator out of Grand Island, Nebraska. Purchased this machine from Mark Schrader, and the Basil brothers have been doing that name proud. And speaking of the Basil brothers, filling in for Kristen Migas, who took a tough hit yesterday in action, Darren Basil driving Wolf's Head for the team out of Deltona, Florida. Normally at the wheel of this machine is Kristen Migas out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Darren Basil, though, he has driven for this team before, always does a nice job. But the guy they're going to be chasing, I believe, all night long, at least in Best Trick and Freestyle, and the guy they were definitely chasing in Best Trick, Buddy Tompkins out of Deltona, Florida, with the stoppie in Raising Cane. Was able to lay it down and get the moonwalk as well. Yesterday he slid a bit, could not pull off the moonwalk, just set it back down, but did have a nice stoppie. This time, though, he got not only the stoppie, but he was able to parlay this run into a slap wheelie. A nice job, as the Rams always seem to have a good showing when we come out here to Radford's Motor Mile Speedway, wrapping it up with the tire smoking donuts. Now, a guy who had a great night last night, but may not be having the night he was hoping for tonight, Joe Sylvester, opened his Best Trick run with that awesome move, but you saw the puff of air come out of that left rear tire. He cut a big hole in that tire going over that jammer stack, and you can see that left rear is going down, and now the hustle is on to try to either find a tire or get that one patched. This truck also did not make it to the qualifying round, and now we're waiting to see if he is going to make the race bracket, because they're having trouble getting that thing to hold air. If they can get it to hold air, they can fill it up between rounds, they can fill it up between competitions, but one of the other problems they have is getting a spare tire. Only a few of the trucks here are running Clark's. BIGFOOT has a spare tire, but they're running ZF, so the wheel will not fit over the planetary on Joe Sylvester's Bad Habit. Some of the other trucks here running Pettibones, those tires and wheels won't work either. So the hustle is on. Like I said, Darren Schnell and BIGFOOT, of course, trying to lay it down. Not to talk over BIGFOOT's run with the Bad Habit news, but Darren Schnell not able to jump over that awesome stoppie and slap wheelie laid down by the big white Ram out of Deltona, Florida. Buddy Tompkins in Raising Cane, who raised the bar in this Best Trick competition again with this awesome stoppie and moonwalk combo that he laid down here. He was able to get it to stick and then again get the truck into reverse, back it up into that ramp, and then set it back down. A beautiful Best Trick attempt by Buddy Tompkins, and enough to net him the victory on this second night of action here at the Motor Mile Speedway. Now we go back down to the pit area. This was between the Best Trick and qualifying rounds, and they weren't able to get the truck ready for qualifying. It sounds like they may be able to borrow a tire from the Instigator Backdraft team, but here's the other problem. The rigs are parked on the other end of a drag strip that's up on the hill, so they're about a half mile away, so it's a little bit of a task to try to get a tire back down here. Well, that was going on. Tucker Wright, who we'll tell you a little more about later, came out in the Top Dog Mini and laid it down for the fans here at the Motor Mile Speedway. Now, a lot of action going on. We move to the starting line for our qualifying highlights. First up again, Bill Solly out of Colton, New York, driving the Pennsylvania-based Ford Instigator. A little bit of a labored start, and you can see real quick, these are some big racing obstacles, as he has had the problem of the truck wanting to come over here to the left-hand side. You can see the wall that separates the front stretch from the infield. We've had trucks get into that wall in the past. Now, last night they ran all their qualifying runs one at a time. Tonight they're going dual passes in qualifying. Backdraft and Wolf's Head lined up as the second pair. Wolf's Head with the measure of Backdraft, but that was just against the clock. The 7.20 for Wolf's Head, the better of those two times, to the 8.93 laid down by Ty Cornelius in Backdraft. What was supposed to be the third pairing, now the second pair, to make it to the starting line. Raising Cane, your best trick champion, up against Aaron Basil in the Devastator. Very close runs right there. It was a 7.12 to a 7.15, so 0.03 of a second separating those guys at the finish line. The finish line is immediately at the end of the last jump. So where that jump terminates, that is the finish line. The final qualifier also was supposed to be a pairing. He was supposed to be paired with Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit. Darren Schnell with the lone run in Bigfoot. And a hard hit right there. You can see the body moving around. He took a lick. Got to the end of the track all right at a 7.92. But, as I said, this track is not going to be easy on any of these guys. It may be a home wrecker before the night's over. Schnell will take it back to the pit area and make sure everything is A-OK. Here you see our pairings after qualifying for round number 1. Instigator and Wolf's Head will be our first matchup. Then it'll be Bigfoot up against the Devastator. So both Basil brothers having a good shot here in the first round. Then we should see Backdraft and Bad Habit taking on each other in our third pairing. But remains to be seen if Bad Habit will make the starting line. And then Raising Cane is slated to take on Culture Shock. But again, only if Culture Shock can make the call. Stay with us. We'll be back to Radford.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. First the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter.
Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo.
Gotta check it out. This week we're going to go down memory lane.
Welcome back to the Motor Mile Speedway just outside of Radford, Virginia. As the sun sets over the Blue Ridge Mountains, we get ready for the first round of side-by-side monster truck racing. Here with the Monster Truck Racing League, Bill Solly out of Colton, New York, at the wheel of Paul Broad's Instigator. Out of the Keystone State, that big blue Ford, he is going to go side-by-side with one of the best substitute drivers in the business right now. That being Darren Basil, the co-owner of the Devastator, here filling in for Kristen Migas, who normally drives this truck. She's here as well, kind of serving as a co-crew chief with her husband, Nick Migas. Those two not only are trying to get this truck through the rounds as well as Raising Cane, but Nick is trying to help Joe Sylvester get his rear wheel repaired. Kristen is over trying to help Daniel Ames get his truck back together to get back in for freestyle. So this team out of Deltona very busy as their first truck tries to get through the first round side by side with Bill Solly. And a hard landing for Solly, and that's going to be a disqualification as he drives off the course. Very wisely, though, backed out of the throttle to avoid making contact with that outside wall. And you'll see again, he's been having that problem all weekend long, the truck pulling off to the left-hand side. And I'm not sure if there's an issue with this left lane or if he's got something going on in the rear end that's kicking that truck to the left. As you'll see again, watch, twice tonight he's made that same landing in that left lane off that second jump. So Darren Basil moving on into the semifinal round at the wheel of Wolf's Head. Here's the other Basil brother, Aaron Basil, at the wheel of the Devastator, formerly of Mark Schrader out of Arizona. Mark made his bones for many years out of the state of Wisconsin, popularized the Devastator on television, and then of course now more recently has sold the truck to the Basil brothers out of Grand Island, Nebraska, a town once synonymous with the nightlife monster truck racing camp for many, many years. And now he goes side by side with Darren Schnell in Bigfoot 19. Darren got the jump on him. Talk about fighting back. Aaron Basil may have had an edge at the finish line. It does look like Devastator got there just a little bit ahead of Bigfoot. We have not gotten the official word, though. We're going to wait and see as they head back to the pit area, going to the photo finish, but we're going to get another look at this run. And boy, if he did, that was a come from behind victory because Darren Schnell was out on the Devastator until that last jump. Devastator actually got to the last jump first. Watch it again. Bigfoot gets over the first hump and into the flat before Devastator settles down, but this second jump right here for Aaron Basil, man, if he had jumped any further into that last jump, he probably wouldn't have had a shot, as he does indeed take that victory. He will go to the next round to take on his own brother. So kind of an interesting development there. And the drama continues in the pit area. We have two things going on right now. As I mentioned, Nick Migas and the entire Deltona, Florida crew with Raising Cane and Wolf's Head are trying to get Joe Sylvester back on the track right now, trying to get a patch in the tire. They don't have a spare that they can lend. Those trucks run Pettibones. Joe with the Clarks. This team here has Clarks. They have a tire they're trying to get, but they're trying to get it from way down track. There you see Kristen Migas up inside of Daniel Ames' truck trying to get it fired. So as I said, if we do hear fire from the pits, it does sound like Joe Sylvester has fired the truck. They're pulling the hose off, and he is indeed going to make it to the line for his first round race. So we are going to see Joe in the first round. The question is, will the tire hold air long enough to get him down the track? Word is they have patched it. We don't know how well the patch is going to hold, but a big debt of gratitude he's going to owe right now to that Florida-based team. And again, the Backdraft and the Instigator crews are trying to find him a spare tire, or at least get the spare tire down the dragway over here to the circle track, because the rigs are parked so far away, they actually had to send a tow truck up there. They're going to put the tire on a rollback and bring it down here, so we'll keep you posted on that. Right now, though, Backdraft trying to knock off Bad Habit. Joe Sylvester making it work for him. It looks like it held air. It's the left rear, so we would have seen it in a hurry. I don't know how long the patch is going to hold out, though, because he's getting a lot of grip on this pavement. We look at it again. Watch him. Ian Cornelius came off the line side by side, but it looks like Sylvester just settled a lot quicker. Ty, the big air going into the final no man's land section before the final jump, just gave up far too much to try to counter the fast-moving Bad Habit of Joe Sylvester. And the word we get is that Buddy Tompkins will actually get a bye into the semifinal round. The rollback, by the way, made it, unloaded the tire, and now they're going to try to get that prepped to go on to the left rear of Joe Sylvester's Bad Habit 79 Ford body truck. And there you see the patch that is holding that tire together right now. Deltona, Florida crew keeping Raising Cane and Wolf's Head in the field, doing a big favor to Joey right there. They got that thing holding there, at least for the moment. If they need that other tire, though, it's down here, it's ready to go. That's what they've wanted. They've got options now to get that truck through the field as we look at our semifinal round pairings, Wolf's Head and Devastator, and Bad Habit and Raising Cane. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this round without incident, as Joey now hustling to the line, because while we were showing you that bracket, they were refilling that tire, and we'll see if it holds up. This was your final round from last night, so this guy in the near lane in the 79 Ford definitely wants a shot at that Ram in the far lane. Let's see if Buddy Tompkins can hold him off a second time. Another outstanding match matchup here on the infield of the Motor Mile Speedway. As Tompkins got on the brakes and kind of slid across there to avoid that jammer car. At center track, Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit will move on to the championship race against the winner of our next matchup. But look at the tire. It is starting to go down. If you look underneath the truck, you can kind of see it. It looks like the patch may be starting to go away. We'll wait and see if that truck indeed does have a different tire on there when he comes back for the championship race. The question right now is, which Basil brother is he going to face in that championship race? Because we know Joey's going to be there. He does have the option now with that tire that was lent to him by Ty Cornelius. And then the team that helped him, he just knocked out in that semifinal round matchup. They were close there at the end. Sylvester just with a little bit better drive going into the final jump. It seems like this left lane might actually be the place to be tonight. We'll wait and see. Devastator had a win out of this left lane. He now goes to the right lane. That's Aaron Basil. He takes on Darren Basil in Wolf's Head, who will stage now on the left-hand lane. Last night, it was Wolf's Head with Kristen Migas taking the best trick win, and then Buddy Tompkins coming on to take the racing win. Joe Sylvester would win freestyle to kind of keep that Florida team from taking what would kind of be a clean sweep as far as team trucks. We'll see, though. They may be on the path again here because Darren now in this left lane has to be the odds-on favorite, but this is going to be a close race if everything goes right. We'll see. They're together. At second jump, pitching Devastator off to the left toward the middle of the track. He had to counter steer, and that definitely slowed him down in that final no man's land section. So it will be Wolf's Head against Bad Habit. So Sylvester will once again face off with one of the two Deltona, Florida-based trucks in the final round. And there you see a couple of crews back there helping. They have indeed changed that left rear tire. It just will not hold the air anymore. And there you see one of the crew members from Raising Cane back there. Sylvester made it through the round, by the way, by dispatching BACKDRAFT, whose tire he's now borrowing, and then dispatching Raising Cane, whose crew helped patch his left rear tire. That got him through the round. He's going to face off, though, against the team truck to Raising Cane, Wolf's Head, with Darren Basil at the wheel, who just knocked out his own brother. So this has been a very interesting night as far as this bracket goes. Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit, though, back in this left-hand lane. That's where he wants to be. Right now, that does seem to be the good lane. He stuck Darren over there on that right-hand side of the track. We'll see if Joey can get a win here. He got beaten last night, though, by Buddy Tompkins in Raising Cane. Joe was in that right-hand lane. He does not want to lose again. Can he get his revenge for last night on the team truck to the man who beat him here on night number 1? Both of them out of shape in the middle. And they were side by side coming across the last jump. It looked like Basil actually started to come around Joe Sylvester there at the end. As we look back at the run, remember the finish line is at the end of the last jump. It's not past it. It's right where that bottom of the ramp on the last jump terminates. And Sylvester got there by inches ahead of Basil. We will be back with freestyle. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Motor Mile Speedway, just outside of Radford, Virginia. We're about to go freestyling, but warming the crowd up for freestyle was this guy, 13-year-old Tucker Reif in the Top Dog Mini Monster. Top Dog Tucker laying it down. This kid has stepped his game up since the last time he was here, which was 2019. He wanted to make up for the loss of the 2020 season, and he did an awesome job here in front of the crowd in Radford. A packed house ready for that monster truck freestyle. We are still waiting to find out whether or not Daniel Ames in Culture Shock will make the call. As you saw, Joe Sylvester's problems are pretty much solved as he borrowed a tire from BACKDRAFT, and you can see the drivers now sitting aboard their machines waiting to roll out here and put on a show on this awesome track built here on the infield of the famed Motor Mile Speedway. The track crew has done a little grooming, a little watering. You just saw the tow truck clear, and out rolls Bill Solly, driving the Pennsylvania-based Instigator. Bill, former tough truck racer, along with his brother Wayne Solly. They're out of Colton, New York. Bill at the wheel tonight. We'll see what he can do, and it's actually pretty amazing. This truck is back in competition. He took a real hard hit in freestyle last night, put the truck on its side, hit a rather small obstacle. It pitched him hard left, and he landed on the sidewalls and laid the truck over on the pavement. It didn't do as much damage as we initially thought it had done to the Instigator, and here he is again trying to lay one down. But you've seen this truck taking a bunch of hard hits here tonight at the Motor Mile Speedway with the Monster Truck Racing League in town. A big hit right there for Bill Solly. Wild-looking Instigator, part of the Extreme Monster 4x4 team out of Airville, Pennsylvania, and another hard hit on one of the front corners right there for Bill Solly, who will wrap up the run short and sweet. We kind of figured that was going to be what he laid down after the hard hit he took last night. He's had a couple licks here on this Saturday night of action, but not a disappointing run. As I said, short and sweet, plenty of hang time. Probably won't take the victory, but definitely warming the crowd up. Not setting the bar low, though, as the man behind him, his teammate, Ty Cornelius, who also had a tough road to hoe. That team had to work very hard to get both their trucks back in this program. This machine broke a left rear planetary, not during the freestyle run. Literally, as he was pulling off the track, the left rear corner decided to let go on him. They had to replace that before they got it back in action here at the Motor Mile. As Ty getting some nice air right there. This guy notorious for some great wheel stands. We'll see if he can do it as the infield here has become rather dusty, as you can see. As the dirt gets kicked off these ramps, it lays out a thin layer of dust that makes it very, very slick for these guys on this infield. Then when you throw water on top of it, which they do to try to keep the dust down, they can only water it so much before it turns into muck. Thought he might go for a slap wheelie. It looks like he is going to wrap this one up, though. Ty, again, short and sweet for that team. They just wanted to get these trucks through this show, but again, not wanting to disappoint their fans. They still came out and got some big air with the two big Patrick chassis machines out of the Keystone State. Ty Cornelius out of Delta, Pennsylvania. The tribute truck to the first responders of the United States, doing a nice job. Now, out rolls Aaron Basil in the Devastator out of Grand Island, Nebraska. We told you the story about the Devastator. We told you the story about the Basil twins buying this name from Mark Schrader, who built it up in the state of Wisconsin for many years, moved out to Arizona after popularizing it on television in the early 2000s through the mid-2000s, and now these two guys out of the state of Nebraska trying to breathe new life into this machine, getting a nice slap wheelie, albeit slick out there. He was able to get those rear wheels to plant the horsepower and stand that truck up. Not as vertical as he would have liked it to, I know that, but the crowd certainly appreciates that. One of these guys that's a very technical freestyler, a very adept freestyler. The Basil twins will throw down a solid run without trashing their equipment, but they are not afraid to be spectacular. Two guys that have worked their way up through this industry together and separately throughout the years, and always put on a good show. They keep their equipment nice and tight. You can see right there, not afraid to drive it, not afraid to get in that throttle. This Race Source chassis doing what it's supposed to do, a strong piece of equipment built back in 2004. Getting the job done right here on the infield of Motor Mile Speedway. Nice hit right there, and I'd say he's raising the bar. Another slap wheelie off into turn number 4, and it looks like Basil is going to wrap the run up with that right there as he comes down the front stretch to get a little applause from this packed house here at this awesome facility in Southern Virginia. Opened things up nicely with a couple hits down the middle of the race lanes, and then this slap wheelie to follow them up. And again, it was very impressive. He was able to get the rear wheels to stick on this slick, dusty pavement out here. And kicking up the dirt again with the donuts. And of course, he closed with another slap wheelie. And again, always impressive was the amount of hang time he was able to get. He knows that he had to lay down a solid run because the people coming up behind him are going to give him a run for his money. Nothing against Bill Solly or Ty Cornelius, but we've got some guys coming out that we know are going to throw some marathon runs down on this track. Now, Aaron Schnell driving the king of the monster trucks. This is Bigfoot 19, the only CRD chassis Bigfoot in the fleet, crabbing his way out on the infield, headed toward the starting line area to start his freestyle run. What does Darren have for Aaron Basil? Right to the bus. You can see the body kind of coming off of that truck. He damaged some of those mounts. Didn't quite have a chance to get them back together, but he's got that body bolted together nice and tight, so it's moving around a bit, but it's not coming off of there. Darren gonna throw it down here in that beautiful retro body Bigfoot right there with the chrome, all that sheen. This thing looks awesome, whether it's in the sunset, under the light standards, as he kicks up the dust here in Radford. Smoking the tires in the end zone, a little flash out of the pipes right there, a little raw fuel getting burned off when he let off the throttle. There you see it again. Darren has a tendency to go move to move to move. He doesn't spend a lot of time driving around looking for stuff. He turned it around very quickly there at center track and just got back to the next obstacle. And he's going to wrap it up right there. I don't know if it's going to take over the lead. It might, though, as he was the first one to attack the bus. That thing is still up for grabs, though. And we've got 3 more trucks to freestyle. Stay with us. Welcome back to the famed Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia. 3 more to go in freestyle. Daniel Ames' Culture Shock will not make the call, unfortunately. And we go right to Darren Basil, the other Basil brother, driving the J.R. McNeil Team Wolf's Head machine out of Deltona, Florida. And he's ready to cut loose as he's going to try to jump over his brother and Darren Schnell in Bigfoot. Right now, his brother who freestyled Devastator, the Basil twins, out here running together for the first time in a little while. And fans getting a treat. Kristen Migas wanted to come out here and lay it down for her fans. She wanted a good driver in the truck, though, since she couldn't get behind the wheel. Took a little bit of a tough hit last night. Certainly not lagging for safety equipment, though. You can see this is a solid truck. It was just one of those free hits, and Darren standing it straight up and down. Almost got himself in some big trouble right there in the Wolf's Head machine out of Deltona, Florida. Patrick chassis truck out of the Sunshine State has a big following up here in the Old Dominion. He knows he's got quite a name to uphold with Kristen Migas, who the last time she was here absolutely put on an awesome freestyle, and it looks like Darren, well, I thought he was headed over there to that motorhome. Maybe he is. Wanted to get a little better angle on it. There is a crush car behind there. He may be trying to get a better hit. Absolutely just peeled the roof off of that thing. Darren Basil laying down a shot. The Wolf's Head machine follows it up with a slap wheelie. Everybody helping everybody this weekend get through a tough pair of shows. They knew the fans paid their ticket to see an awesome showing here on the infield of this famed legendary speedway, and they're giving it to him. What does Basil have left in this machine? He's in there somewhere. I think he was going to try to get it into the Cyclones, but he got over against that jammer car, kicked a lot of dirt off of there, but not a disappointing run by any means. Definitely going to launch him into the lead. Right now, Wolf's Head giving the crowd what they wanted here at the Motor Mile Speedway. Darren Basil getting the chance to run side by side with his brother earlier tonight. Now getting the chance to knock his brother out again here in freestyle. Big hang time in this run. The crowd absolutely loving it. That truck has a little bit of an advantage rolling out because of the body style, but then when he goes and does stuff like that, and they took some dirt away from the back of that race lane, and you can see he actually started to dig the car out of the ramp. That's what caused him to stand it straight up and down, and then just destroyed that motorhome. There's still a little chunk of that motorhome left if anybody's daring enough to try to get to the right of that crush car and launch through there, but that might be a hard hit. Up next, the team truck that Wolf's Head, Buddy Tompkins and Raising Cane, and I can guarantee you he is not going to lay down. This is going to be a wild run. Coming right out and making a statement. The Rams always have a tendency to do well here in Radford. He is going right after the motorhome. Testing the waters. He'll be back over there tonight. I guarantee you this run will not end without one more hit off of that motorhome. I think Darren had to knock that iron wall down a little bit there. That is a tough hit, though. If you hit that race lane wrong, you can see the back of it right there. That thing is solid. Nice launch as he loses one of the flags off the back of that big white Ram out of Deltona, Florida. Momentum right now is second to none. The ground speed here is just incredible. You can feel this truck as it's drifting around the pavement here every time it lands, and the thunder here live is amazing. If you haven't been out to this event and you're in the area, you gotta get out and see this one live. Raising Cane, Buddy Tompkins, one of the big Rams out of the Sunshine State, laying it down here on the infield. Back to the motorhome, and he tried to take out that corner that's left right there. He took a little bit of it with him. See him get a little sideways though, but he is absolutely laying it down. What a launch. Throwing caution to the wind. Burning up the Firestones with the Cyclones. Got under the dust. It was all smoke on that one. Look, he's going back to the motorhome one more time. And again, you can see the wild kick that Crush Car back there will give you. Buddy Tompkins. Huge launches with this truck. Just an unbelievable run for the big white Ram. Part of the J.R. McNeil team out of Florida. Another look at this awesome freestyle run for Buddy Tompkins. Opened it up with a near perfect slap wheelie. Got to every obstacle on the track very quickly within the first 60 seconds of that. As I said, marathon run. I told you we were going to have some of those tonight. And he saw Darren Basil come out and really lay it down. Buddy is not going to disappoint these fans. He's another one who has a great following here in Radford. And there you see him trying to take out what was left of the motorhome. Couldn't quite get on top of that corner, but he was trying. There you see Nick Migas, who talked about him earlier, picking up the flag that came off the back of the Racing Cane machine running back there. You see Kristen standing over there by the Basil brothers. Still a chunk of the motorhome left. If anybody wants to take a shot at it, the only guy left who can is that man right there out of Canfield, Ohio, in the Eddie Chassis 79 Ford-bodied Richard Midget Power Yokohama tire wearing Bad Habit. Around the infield here at the Motor Mile Speedway. The LED's flashing. Let's see what Joe can do. Starting out, going for the bus. See him have to come to the left right there. There is a power station just to his right. If you launch the wrong way, you're going to be in trouble. They will shut you down. He didn't want that to happen. Goes from the bus to the motorhome. He was trying to get over there and knock that corner off, but that car kicked him the other way. And a massive launch for Joe Sylvester. Hard hit right there. I think he just took some of the track with him. Joey, he knows that he's going to have to go some to knock Buddy Tompkins off the top of this thing. And he is absolutely putting a foot to it as he flew about half the length of one of the race legs, following it up with some huge hang time. That is amazing. That's about a 14,000-pound truck. 20, 25 feet in the air. Not disappointing. Straightens the sway bar back up right there. You're going to knock it back the other way. I'll tell you what, he's working his way to matching Buddy Tompkins' momentum. I'm not going to take anything away from Joe because the hang time he has been second to none. Right now, I'm going to say he's on par with Tompkins. If he can put down a couple more big moves, he may be able to take over this freestyle competition. Another big hit right there. He's really not slowing down. He's letting the truck roll right into the obstacles. Burning some rubber back there and then right to the motorhome. I'll tell you what, it's a good thing that Goodyear that Ty Lenton was already bumped down because he took whatever tread was left on it off, and another massive lead for the 79 Ford body. Bad Habit. Buckeye Special laying down a shot here around. The Zoomies blowing dust straight up in the air. Joe Sylvester It's going to come down to a cheer-off. I can tell you that right now, because nobody in this staff is going to want to pick between Buddy Tompkins and Joe Sylvester. I have my guesses as to which one of them is going to have taken this win. Joey, though, definitely working hard tonight to get the crowd on his side as he heads down the track, hanging out the window, getting some well-deserved applause from these fans here in Radford. Watch it again. The hang time is just incredible on this run. Again, that's like a 14,000-pound plus machine right there. They did not skimp on durable parts on this truck, and it is quite heavy. But you can see it takes the punishment. That hit right there, as I said, he took a piece of the track with him, a couple pieces maybe. They're hanging off the bead lock, and then that jumped the whole distance of one of the no man's land. From behind the second line of cars, and man. And Joe Sylvester, in bad habit, will take the freestyle victory. So this has been a very good night for Joe Sylvester, in spite of how it started. Blown tire, he had to borrow a tire. There you see the piece of pavement he took with him. Had to borrow a tire from the team that he knocked out in round number 1 of racing. And then, of course, enlisted the help of the team that he just knocked out in freestyle and took down in racing. So it's been a good night for him and a great weekend for both him and the team out of Deltona, Florida. We want to thank you for joining us for this awesome weekend of coverage from here at the Motor Mile Speedway. We will see you next time.